This episode is brought to you by Wayfair. Podcasts follow us everywhere. Whether you're cooking in the kitchen, chilling in the living room, or pretending to fold laundry in the bedroom. And with Wayfair, every one of those rooms can tell a story of its own. Their curated collections of furniture styles and prices make Wayfair the trusted destination to turn your home into your happy place. Shop everything home at wayfair.com with free and easy delivery straight to your door.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Centuries ago, a war was fought, and Regoria was destroyed. But in a last-ditch effort, there was one elf who buried a little bit of magic.
Guarantee anyone will find it.
Let's hope someone does.
And now, one young man
Pops, what is this?
will have to end a war started long before his time.
Can't run!
Can't! His spell has taken hold. This is the last possible chance this world may have.
Echoes of Regoria, now available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Welcome to Board Gamers Anonymous, the podcast where everyone is welcome at the table for the past 12 years. But of course, as always, no one knows whose turn it is. This is Chris.
And
this is episode 540, our 12th year anniversary, everybody. We like to thank all our Patreon backers who have made 12 years possible. Thank you, everybody. Anthony, we are once again, for 12 years, back.
It's crazy, man. Okay, so like when we hit 10 years, like, oh, it's a weird milestone. But for some reason, 12 is like hitting.
It's it's an American number, man. Everything.
It's very American.
Everything's at 12
in the middle. You know what it is though? Is like my son is 14, my daughter is 10, almost 11. This is like my second child. This is the middle child, and it's almost a teenager. So it's weird.
True. I mean, it has been a very big part of my family as well. And I sincerely, and I know you and I, we publish every week, and we do so because we want to be there for our family, the community of people who listen each and every week, who support us each and every week. And the reason why we started the podcast, continue the podcast after all these years, is for that family that's out there who's listening right now. So, this is a joint celebration. This is a party, a victory, and an inclusion for everyone to join us at the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know who you are because you're listening right now.
Or you're listening,
like Chris
you might be
said.
listening in the future, and you'd be like, "Wow, they did 12 years. They've hit 20, so 12 is not that big." And we're just like,
20, man.
Hey, look, every time we go, this week we're back. At some point, and not to bring it down a notch, but like at some point we won't be back, man. I know, some point that is the thing that will happen. So that's why we have to appreciate.
It's true. The slow passage of time claims everything. We said we weren't going to go dark this week, so let's keep it light.
Yeah, but again, I think some of the little shadows kind of give some additional bright, right? Because it is true. As you said, it's a successful anniversary, anniversary, especially at 11:30 at night, in which we're recording on a Friday. So please excuse my slippages from time to time here a little bit, but we've been working hard to bring you this episode as we do in each and every week. And we started because we wanted to support our local friendly game store, and in particular, all the people at our local friendly game store who felt very much anonymous, who were outsiders, outcast, ostracized for whatever their differences happened to be, and felt invisible and not included, and there was not a seat available for them at the table. So we wanted to start a podcast to have those conversations that maybe people were missing out on, and maybe they wanted to feel included in, and maybe wanted to feel like they were just one of the gang. And that has grown over the years. And obviously a lot of that, the Board Gamers Anonymous has been very much over the idea of our love, passion, and at times serious addiction to tabletop gaming and everything that goes along with it. Along with, again, we're talking about more than a decade ago, the being ostracized for being adults playing games. Remember those days, my friend?
Yeah, no, it still
It
happens
does.
occasionally. So yeah, no, it's a good thing, and like it's a funny thing. This is not completely a tangent, I swear, but we had a yard sale last weekend, here in our at our house, and I had some games in the basement that like I'd posted online and I'd posted on eBay and I put various places and nobody bought them, so it's fine. I put them out on the yard sale, and it was gratifying but also weird, like the number of people who came up and like wanted to talk about games and tell me about all the games they had played and how they knew these German designers and all different levels. And literally every single person was like, yeah, I play some complicated
Nice.
games. And every time I'd be like, give me examples.
We've heard that before.
They would come up. Yeah, they'd come up and be like, what games are good for me? And it was just like, this couldn't have happened like 10, 15 years ago. Like people would have been like, what is this? What is, like, would my kids like this? And I'm like, no.
Is this like Monopoly?
Exactly. And I got none of that. Nobody was rude. Everybody was gracious and like excited about these cheap games that I was selling. And like, we got in these great conversations about these different things. And this one woman, she's like, oh, I played Underwater City last night for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, that's a great game. I was like, are you my neighbor? Or do you live around here?
That's fantastic.
But like it has changed and it's amazing. And then you get to meet these people and they don't go out and they don't have conversations with people and they don't realize there's other people in their own neighborhood who are playing these games. And then they're surprised when they see them. So it's great to be able to have this podcast and kind of share that a little bit, who we are and how it spread. So.
Yeah, I remember I have a little short story myself when I was during the lockdown. I was working at a university and we were all on Zoom. And I used to have this green screen behind me when I would Zoom because behind my head, where I'm actually recording right now, is a bunch of games in a KLX, right? And you can't mistake that. You cannot blur that out in the camera.
Nope.
And I was like, all right, green screen, because again, I need to hide my love, passion, and fascination for math in a box with rules, right? And at some point, I met somebody who actually worked for me, and somehow it slipped out some game title or something, and I was just like, and I was like, blah blah blah, and she's like, and I was like, blah blah blah, and she's like, yeah, and I literally got up and pulled the green screen away, and I was like, So I was either the greatest boss in the world or the craziest person in the world.
Yeah. Probably a
little bit of both. And I think that's what you need to shoot for leadership, my friends. That's the leadership codex, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, totally. Like my background is a little bit of games on the side, but like when I speak to my students, I leave it wide open because I'm like, it's just like, if they have any of that, they'll tell you. And then you have that connection and they're like, oh, there's other people. I'm like, dude, there's so many people. There's so many people. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, from doing career counseling and being a career director for 20 years, working with students to try to figure out their passion, their vocation, what they might really enjoy, their life and stuff like that. And being able to go, what games do you like? To be able to use that as a instrument to help self-discover what careers or passions they might have has been a wonderful opportunity. And again, something a decade ago when we started out, decade plus obviously at this point, we would never have divulged to anybody, especially an employer or an employee or general public out there, because we did have all those stories about like legitimately being mocked by a lot of different people. And whether it's for me in a dating situation or in an academic professional situation, or even bringing tabletop games into our classrooms or to work with students, and getting the pushback from administration, and like, you might just lose your job because that's not a professional thing to do. Why would you do that with your students? And just like, I don't have anything to back that up other than I think this will work. And again, from an employment situation, that is not a good place to be. So,
No.
and again, I think for a lot of us out there, the collection of these tabletop games and the play of these tabletop games are so incredibly valuable, and the FOMO is so much there. And then typically, I'll be honest with you, it's not for the reasons which most people think. I think, honestly, Anthony, for most of the reasons, when I look at my collection of games over this past 12 years, it's really all about this game or that game allowed me to connect meaningfully with this group of people at this point in history. And I would have not been able to do that without this game. And
Right.
I am so incredibly thankful for that, because maybe I didn't know how to connect, or maybe I didn't have the capacity for whatever particular reasons, or maybe the group didn't feel that way, or maybe society typically would not allow these people or this particular group to come together. I mean, again, there's so many reasons, so many different communities, so much wonderful diversity. And to have an instrument, to have a bridge, to have cardboard, a bit of plastic, and a little bit of paper thrown around, and to be able to connect to another human being in a meaningful way without having to deal with the struggle, the anxiety, the stress of, social conversations or social customs and conventions. I mean, what a blessing and benefit tabletop gaming has been for me and for so many people out there in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we do what we do.
Definitely. And again, now, Anthony, on the very positive side, after 12 years of working with so many different groups of people, so many presentations and different podcasts, not just Board Gamers Anonymous, but we've done so many other podcasts throughout the years with so many wonderful people. And, we've done charity events, we've done game days, we've done educational events, we've done stuff with K through 12. I mean, there's just kind of an endless running tab of all of the wonderful, passionate people that we've been involved with to make everyone's life better and to bring some education, some value, some personal enrichment. I'm really so grateful to be part of this community, and so grateful that you're listening here, and so grateful for everyone who supports us out there. I always felt like we were on the island of misfit toys. As a misfit myself, I'm really proud to be here with all of you out there. And I'm really so proud that we, over the last 12 years, have been a small but I think important voice in advocating for the value of tabletop gaming and the people within tabletop gaming, especially those who aren't typically invited to the table. We always, as we say each and every podcast, will save you a seat at the table. And then we mean that in real life and in person. You find us, you have a spot for us, you have a game, we're down for that. And now tabletop gaming, I think, like you said, is not something to be hidden. And the communities in those, in that hobby just generally are not to be hidden. Again, they're all there to be celebrated. And we're so glad they have invited us into their own families, into their own podcast players and presentations. I mean, we did a presentation at PAX on accessibility and inclusion and teaching games. And we had 200 plus people there, and they all just had questions about how can they get more people into gaming? How could they be that person to make that connection to those different communities and those different individuals who feel left out? So what would work for them? And all of those people coming up and asking, all those people who are questioning, all those people who are advocating, those are our people. And we were so, so very appreciative to build a community of advocates and support services and just lovely, wonderful people. So I'm so glad that we went from more of the, the addict side to the appreciation side to now the empowerment side. We've been doing it for 12 years. We've been speaking up, yelling, screaming, advocating, community building. And proudly, we are Board Gamers Anonymous. And after 12 years, we're so glad that you're here to join us this week.
Absolutely.
So, Anthony, as I mentioned, and as we always continue to do so, advocating, supporting, and making known, at the very least, things that are happening in the tabletop industry. Back 12 years ago, people were not so happy about that. Now they're actually on board with typically, sometimes, a general open conversation about why something is a problem or issue. And recently, another game has come up that was a problem. Specifically, it launched at Gen Con. And this game's called Ace of Spades from Devir Games, Anthony.
we just talked about this 2 weeks ago. It was
Yes.
on our preview list, and we obviously hadn't played it. We hadn't seen the cards in the game. The concept sounds fun. The game sounds fun. People seem to like the play of the game. But hey, guess what? It's got a ton of problems content-wise.
Shocker. Here you go.
Yeah. So the specific thing that the game got called out for is a pair of cards that are included. It's not the only thing.
There's
that's
a lot
been called
more.
out, but it's the it's the
Yes.
main thing. So there was letters posted. Many prominent people within the industry posted about this as well. But there is a slaver card and a fugitive card, and you can imagine the fugitive card.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think you can.
No, it's actually worse than whatever you're thinking. It's
a
quite
very
bad
racist depiction of a black man in a almost animalistic kind of format.
It's like literally like foam at the mouth. It's terrible.
Literally the worst, if not it's the worst thing you can imagine. Kind of like,
yeah, it's like you'd have to. This is like they're going out of their way to make it bad, and this is what they do. And so it got called out almost immediately, right? Like Gen Con just ended. Like for us recording, Gen Con just ended like 4 days ago, and it got called out like 2 days after that because people got their copies. They got home, they opened them, they're like, "What the heck?" And it's not great, right? It's not great. But so Devir came out pretty quickly. So in a statement today, as we're recording, which is August 8th, about 6 days after Gen Con ended, they came out and they made a statement and they said, "Hey, it's 100% on us. This is terrible. This is what we were trying to do. Obviously, we didn't think about that." They claim that their goal here was we're drawing from all these different elements of culture around the American West, and part of that was we wanted to pull from the film Django Unchained, right? Which is it's a movie about slavery in the American West, but you lose all the nuance of that film when you just take two images and put them onto cards, if that is in fact what happened. So they came out and they're very clear about what they're going to do. They're like, we're going to stop selling the game. We're going to design replacement cards. Everybody gets free replacement cards. These cards will never appear again. We're going to review all the other cards in the game to make sure they're not hurtful as well, which people have called out like, yeah, there are some serious problematic issues with like Native American representation in this game as well. So they're going to hopefully address that. And we're going to bring people in who have expertise and background in this area and representation and diversity within games and cultural representation. And we're going to ask them to take a look at our games, not only this game, but all future projects, because clearly we didn't do that and that it's been bad. So it was immediate. It was clear. It was proactive. It's not good that it happened, obviously, but at least they're owning it and recognizing why the mistake was made from that position of, Eurocentric privilege, where you just don't think about these things. CGE on hold on the line. Thoughts?
Yeah. There's a lot to say about this. I think in part, I'm really proud of our industry, at least the majority of it, for recognizing the problem and supporting the community. Because this is not just a terrible depiction. And again, as you mentioned, this is not just two cards. There's several cards here. And incredibly tone deaf. And even to say that is to be, almost complimentary, if that's the only reason and problem.
It's so bad. You sent me a picture of these cards. I'm like, what the shit? And then like simultaneously there was a conversation in the BGA Discord about this. I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Oh my God.
Yes. And again, I think oftentimes, look, this has been going back. This has happened a lot. This has happened a lot of times. This is not the first time that depictions of slavery in America has kind of, I don't even know how to, it's been cartoonized, it's a joke. It's funny. It's comical. And it's very hard for me as an American to understand why people would think that's something that they can or should do. And I appreciate Devir recognizing the feedback as supportive and directive, even if it is angry. I think the anger is also supportive and directive in a positive manner. And
Yeah.
I appreciate them immediately owning what they've done and not making excuses, of course. I mean, all of this is happening in light of CGE. We talked about this in the last podcast, just doing the worst job possible as far as like,
oh my gosh, and just continuing to do the worst job possible.
The humor behind just not naming the game as if it was Voldemort. Like, you should already known, like, you did something wrong as far as this. So Devir owned it. Devir, again, there's no operating standards to this because typically companies have not owned these things, or even if they have, almost just temporarily. So it seems like, and again, a lot of people in that community have responded and feel confident and satisfied that they are making the right moves. They're stopping the sales of the game. They're offering replacement cards. They're going to look at standards and change certain things, X, Y, and Z. And I am happy that they're doing it. I'm also understandably like proud of everyone getting involved with this. It's always very sad to see how BGG kind of blows up and this becomes the second hotness. And then obviously the Harry Potter CGE game is the hottest game because, and maybe it needs to be so. And again, I'm not taking that away. I do feel a little bad for Jamie Stegmaier, who has Venture.
Advantage down there are 3, the actual hottest game in gaming, but it doesn't have anything controversial going on. Yeah.
So it's a little weird. And I think a lot of people have rightfully so asked CCG to take a note here. And I think they will. I am also a little disappointed with some of the comments here because I think as the rationale why this is such a problem in America is because if you read through a lot of the comments and the ratings on BGG, you don't have to know much about history or much about America. Read the comments and you'll get a sense of like, oh, racism continues to be a very big problem and people are, I don't know what the right words are here. Like, it's so twisted and corrupt as far as how they think about things. And so a lot of the comments here are like, this game mechanically is good or fine or average or whatever it might be, even bad. And then the comments will also say, but because people made a point of calling this out and made a fuss about it, I'm giving it a 10. And it's just like, it's a little heartbreaking here because again, that's not the right reason. Again, it may not be the most eloquent way in which we could have this discussion, but I think the passion and the truth is really there. And I think that's what we need to respect, even if you don't necessarily agree. But again, I would recommend you go reading the BGG comments, the ratings here, because again, it's another one like CGE where it's basically a 50-50 break between a 10 and a 1. But I think the comments will educate you and lead you to your own conclusions, which again, I think it has a lot of value to understand. Like, you could be very much like, yeah, this is fine. They should allow this. Why is this a problem? Cool. Go read the comments that people who gave this a 10 and read why. And maybe even though you're not the problematic person in this situation, you're on the side of people who are very problematic. And again, Devir has owned, again, they didn't have to do this. It's an abstract card game. It's not something that needed to be this. And again, maybe they did it for shock value. Maybe there's some more, I don't know, animus going on here. Maybe some conspiracy theories happening here. But we, of course, we want to have as many people come to the table as possible. And this would certainly, if you're not aware, would drive people away, including myself. And I'm not, a Black American, but I would not play this game. I also don't play Secret Hitler and several other games. And please don't do that. I want to join you at the table. I want to play with you. And I know you who are listening want to have as many players at the table. So maybe you don't appreciate this or the CGE issue. But again, it's okay if you don't understand. You're not supposed to. It's not possible to understand the depth of what other people are experiencing or feeling. But our job is to be an ally, to be a community member, and again, to bring as many people up to the table as possible. And this restricts that. And I think that I would love for that to be your takeaway, that this restricts people from coming to the table. And there's nothing more that gamers hate is that there's not enough people at the table to play games. Maybe I want to, even from the selfish point of view of that, but also that as an industry, we can be better. And as somebody from Puerto Rican descent, when I played Puerto Rico for the first time, and I'm like, hey, cool, it's a game about my culture. Can't wait to play it. And then like, oh, it's a Euro game and there's cubes. And like, and then over time it's going, oh no, this is bad. This is a really, really sad and tragic part of a history that's playing for fun. And again, one of the most brilliant mechanic games in the world. So I can hold both things, but also I'm not bringing that to the table because it's restrictive. And I want as many people as possible in that. Yeah, it's a thing, my friend. It still continues to happen. And I mean, we talked about this. We talked about 5 tribes way back in 2014, because I remember talking to Tom Vassell on his podcast and making statements about how bad the slave cards were in that game, because the slave card was a commodity which you sell. And I brought that up, and back then that was not a thing people did bring up. And even now, if you go on Board Game Geek, there are people still trying to buy the slave cards because they don't see a problem with it. And even Days of Wonder is like, we're sorry, that was bad. I welcome you to educate yourself on the community. I think that's the best teacher. And do it with an open mind, because I think on both sides, I think it's very educational for all of us.
Yeah. No, and like also keeping in mind, because I feel like too often it's easy to just like suddenly be like, these people are bad, pile on.
Sure.
It's mistakes are made, and if people can recognize that those mistakes are made because of a certain amount of ignorance and cultural significance around these issues, then that's a good thing. Like they've learned from that, and hopefully things will be better in the future. And it seems like, I can't say that it's what happened because it's only been like 19 hours, but it seems like that's what happened here. Like if they do the things they said, it'll make not only this game better, but every game they make in the future better. And they've learned that lesson. It sucks how they had to learn the lesson, because ideally you have these thoughts in advance before the game is produced and it goes out in the world and it hurts people. But at least it's a positive reaction. It's not like that knee-jerk, nah, we're not going to change, and you go away. And we'll just keep denying it until you forget about it, that we get from at least one.
And I think a lot of times, a lot of the loudest voices are the ones that typically we hear. And our job for CGE and also for Ace of Spades is to provide the space, clear the space, and then let the people in that space talk about how they feel and how they're affected, because they're part of that community.
Right, exactly. Like, what is the actual harm here? Because it's too easy for people who are just quick to be outraged for the sake of outrage to be like, this is bad, burn it down. Like, yeah, but what's bad? Why is it bad? Who is it hurting? How is it problematic, and how can we do better? Like, these are the questions we need to ask, we need to have conversation about, instead of just being like, cancel, burn it down. And sometimes that's the right reaction, but sometimes it's not. So it's good to have some nuance.
And I think that's why I'm saying the comments are good, because I think there is nuance there. And I think there's nuance that people provide that they don't even know that they're providing. So if there's racism and transphobia and other misogyny and all these other things that are happening there, people typically are not afraid or not aware, and they'll let you know that. So I think that's incredibly valuable for all of us to understand, to learn more.
100%. Yeah, no, it's good to have that.
And I think you can learn a lot more about it. Like, let somebody like our friend from Room 51, Matthew, talk about CGE and inform you about that. Jeremy Howard, who does Man vs. Meeple, he wrote some really eloquent statements about his experience with the game and his contact and community with Devir. Listen to those things, be guided by those things, and support those things, because those are the peoples in the population that are most harmed by this. But we're all diminished when we don't have all the people at the table. And if we can, as a podcast and as a an educational platform for 12 plus years, can do anything to that, that's what we're here to do. Thank you all for participating in our social experiment of tabletop gaming.
Yes.
It's especially fun when everyone's there and everyone feels included.
It's only fun when everyone's there.
It's only fun when 100%. And they only feel included if the games are inclusive of them as well.
Exactly. Yes. There's nothing worse than playing a game with somebody who's actively uncomfortable with the game they're playing.
That one time I played, 5 tribes, and I'm playing this game. And again, it's gins on the table, colorful little meeples, and it's mechanically a great game. And then randomly I get assigned a card, and it looks like my friend who's playing with us, and I'm just like, all right. yeah. So, yeah. It's the thing. So, cool.
Yeah, so good.
All right. Well, with that said, Anthony, after 12 years of advocating, we also, as always, advocate for fantastic tabletop games that do bring everyone to the table. And there's so many of those out there. So many that you have recommended, especially this year. We've really upped the voice of the gamers, so much so that we do have a feature where we get your content, your information, your feedback from our wonderful community and let people know. So this year, Anthony, we want to talk about our 12th year anniversary. And typically what we do is we go over the last year, and we do this every year, and talk about the acquisition disorders, obviously our roll for previews, things that we're looking forward to, our at the tables, or also now known as roll for reviews, games that we've actually played, have a sense to give feedback on, and our feature reviews, which is our voice for the gamers, people who have given us a lot of content and information about their picks, their thoughts, their feelings, their comments that are so incredibly valuable for us and for the industry. So, Anthony, any other comments before we get into all these things about 12 years? Anything else you want to say?
No, let's do it. Let's see what
it's been a good year, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like obviously, like we've updated, overhauled the format a little bit here in 2025, but for the better, because more voice of the gamer, more people involved, more engagement, and a little more focus in terms of what we're covering and why we're covering it. So it makes this particular segment here in the 12-year anniversary.
Yeah, we hit number 500, which is, again, based on numbers with zeros, very significant.
It's a big number with a 0.
2 zeros.
Yeah. Yeah. So neither one of us picked this probably because it was 10 episodes. And how do you pick that? But we did spend 10 weeks last year doing our top
of all time,
leading up to episode 500. So honorable mention to, as the feature, the top 100 list from 2024, leading up to episode 500, and episode 500 in particular, which we did live
with video. You could see us.
You can go watch it on YouTube. We recorded it live and broadcasted it out to the world, covering our top 10 games. So it was a lot of fun, because usually when we do the top 100, it's 1 minute per game, rapid fire, if that, maybe 30 seconds, rapid fire. But we did an hour plus for every 10 games. We spent at least 5-10 minutes talking about every game, and it's just it's interesting. It's, if you care what games we love, you get a nice run through of that. And if you're a Patreon backer, you get a behind the scenes on how we built that top 500 or top 100 at 3 or 4 episodes of here's how we built the list, here's how we narrow it down, and here's how it gets recorded, and here's how we put it together. That's all on the Patreon.
Yeah, and you can find, obviously, the audio podcast on any of your audio players which you're listening, but it's also video format, as Anthony mentioned. We were live, and that's recorded on YouTube. So if you have not gone onto YouTube, please do. It's really helpful to have subscriptions on there. We are not a video podcast, but I will mention that we did add a whole bunch of new videos up there, of actual videos, not just podcasts, where we talk to people about tabletop gaming and what they're doing with it. So if you haven't been to YouTube in a while to check out our channel, please do, because there's a lot more stuff than you've ever seen before on there. And as you know, especially starting as Board Gamers Anonymous and feeling painfully shy about being on camera, to have our 500 episode be live with us live on there is a huge thing. And you get to see us there. And again, there's a lot more videos up there now than ever before. So please, 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 absolutely subscribe and and do all the things on there, because that's how algorithms work. And we are not the kind of people to put our face on camera. So when we do, it's a thing.
Yeah. You know that. You you haven't seen us that often. It's there. You can
our
see
pictures
us there.
Initially were just boxes of games in front of our faces.
Legit. This is the opposite of what we 100%. Used to do.
So please support our emotional and psychological development and bravery to put ourselves out there a little bit and follow on Facebook and, all the social medias. But again, especially on YouTube, we appreciate it. With that said, Anthony, let's get into all the different features and segments that we want everyone to check out yet again, because if they haven't checked it out the first time, they're going to love it the second time. Anthony, acquisition disorders are now known as roll for previews.
Absolutely, yeah. So I have my 3 picks here.
3, nice, like it.
Yeah,
we did
3 each. So I have 3 here, starting back at episode 502. So last November, they announced a follow-up to my number 1 game of all time, which I had just announced 2 episodes previously, Voidfall. We have a sequel coming up, Revenant. Now, it's a completely different mechanical game, but now, especially fast forward almost a year, and I'm like more excited for it, having read all the updates and seen how they've changed it and how they're developing it. The game's been pushed back a little bit as they add new elements, and it's beautiful new Ian O'Toole artwork. It's built in the Voidfall universe, and it's like, okay, I love this. I want more Voidfall. This is it, but it's shorter, more accessible. It's still Mind Clash, so it's not gonna be that simple.
Or that short.
No, it's not gonna be that short. And the cover is awesome. I love the cover. It's classic Ian O'Toole, but it's like really, really solid.
And you did back this.
So I did back this. This is one of the last games I've backed, like fully backed, not an expansion. Like in
is
the
this
last
on a
year.
boat somewhere?
So no, it's still in development. So I don't know when they planned on shipping it, but it's not going to meet that deadline because it's the last couple updates were like, hey, we changed this and this and this, and now we're playtesting more, and production will happen when it happens. So whatever. But it's cool looking, and again, Voidfall, amazing.
Yeah.
So having this particular game with Ian O'Toole's artwork carrying through, I hope it's good. I really do. I hope it's not like a Founders.
Oh no, that would be the worst.
I know. I've invoked like the worst possible scenario. I know. Well, if I invoke the worst, it has to be better than that, right? I hope so.
Jeez, what a disaster that was.
Yeah. So at least it'll look pretty, because Founders of Gloomhaven.
No, that had nothing good about it. I'm sad to say. That became the standard of how would you say it? Spiritual sequels that were not spiritual nor a sequel.
Yeah,
just in name only.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah, no, but that's the one that you. Yeah,
that's the worst one.
That's one of the. You evoke that name when you want to let people know. It's shorthand a little bit. Now on the opposite side, Anthony, or I guess somewhat on the opposite side, or maybe actually the identical side of the street, looks like another game that we both love and adore, and one of the best games of all time, Blood Rage.
Blood Rage
is also getting a spiritual successor, just like Revenant, Valhalla. So I am adding Blood Rage Valhalla, episode 535. And we're going to take a look and hope and pray to Valhalla, I guess, in this case, and Stogercore, I guess, a little bit. So Blood Rage from Eric Lang was a smash success. There was a 5th player expansion, there was a God expansion, there was a couple of other little things here and there. It was never going to be reprinted. One time on Kickstarter, secondary market was crazy. It was like $500 for the expansion. And then out of nowhere, Simon actually came out with it again, slightly different enough that legally what they said previously allowed them to re-release it. And again, we had that conversation, I don't remember how many episodes back, but it was there. We talked about it. Now, Simon is obviously going through a lot of financial difficulties, and they have started to sell off a lot of their big properties in order to kind of steady the ship, maybe? Or maybe don't come back. I don't know where it's going to happen with Simon, but the Eric Lang collection of, I don't know, hybrid Amerithrash kind of games moved over and was purchased. And now what we're seeing is coming soon to a crowdfunding backing site, Blood Rage Valhalla, which we have very little, if any, details about, but it seems like the Blood Rage battles that we had previously and all of the very good and noble and courageous and bloody Vikings are going to go on to Valhalla, and then it seems like maybe that, in fact, will be the battle platform. Because in that mythology, battles continue, nonetheless. So that's going to be a thing, and I'm looking forward to it. Because will it be good? Will it be better? Will it be bad? I don't know, but it's yet another one of those games.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they posted recently an update. This campaign goes live next week.
There you go.
When you're hearing this, on Monday. And they posted some miniatures. If you go to the GameFound page, you can look at the miniatures and stuff that they had at Gen Con. They're looking good. At first I was a little skeptical of the miniatures. I didn't think they looked great in the mock-ups, but these ones are looking good. But by the time you're listening to this, you only have a few more days until you can actually see what this is. So I have it bookmarked.
We will see. Blood Rage. Valhalla.
Blood Rage. All right. So for me, moving on here, it's not a spiritual successor because it's just the same game. But again, we're kind of revisiting old stuff that we love.
What's old is new.
Common theme here. Oh, and your next one too. This is funny. Okay. All right. So back in episode 505, I did a preview on War of the Ring 2 Decades Edition.
That's crazy.
So this is War of the Ring, big, fancy, expensive box edition, which previously had been locked down to the anniversary edition, which they released for the 10th anniversary 10 years ago. And they said, no, that was a one-time thing. It's never happening again. It goes for $4,000 or $5,000 on eBay. And I was like, I really want this, but there's no way I'm just not spending that kind of money. I have the anniversary limited editions. I think they call them limited editions of the expansions for Warriors and Kings and Lords. I have all that they've been released over the last 7 years since I've been playing this game. And then they're like, hey, actually, we're going to re-release this, but now it's called the 2 Decades Edition, which is a stupid.
It is,
but whatever. It's the same content, right? So I finally was able to back and pre-order my copy of the big, expensive, fancy painted edition of War of the Ring. My favorite game of all time, which is not on my top 100 anymore because we retired
Hall of Fame.
But, it's 1A, right? Hall of Fame number 1, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I have to start pestering everybody I know to come to my house to play it because I can't take it anywhere. It'll be impossible.
Will you have a $3,000 table to put it on?
No, but I'll have a $800 worth of game and $100 worth of playmat to play on. So, this was my one single Grail game, and the fact that they're like, we're going to print it again, but slightly different. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic! God, I need this game, and I just hope the tariffs don't kill it.
I'm very excited to play this. This is going to be great.
It's coming in. They say December. I haven't heard literally no updates from them since last December. So I'm hoping it still exists. I'm hoping they're making it. I'm hoping it doesn't get tariffed into oblivion. But we'll see.
Yeah, this game also has a special history for us too, because over the 12 years we brought this out in many places, set it up in many places, and have not had time to play it in many places.
You and I played it together one time.
Was it just that one time?
One time. Just the one time in my basement back in Staten Island, which was almost 10 years ago. No, it had to have been. It was over 10 years ago because I moved out of that basement 10 years ago.
Do you remember we set it up in a hotel room on a bed?
We did. Yep. I've dragged it up to your house a couple times. I've packed it down. I've moved it around. Yeah, I don't know why it's so hard to get played, but it's a brilliant game. It's so good. And I'm like, and my version's upgraded a little bit. Like I have the anniversary playmat. It's huge. I have upgrades that I got off of BGG. Somebody makes their own custom, like of the 2 towers and of Minas Tirith and all that good stuff to put on the map. I have some painted miniatures. I have the upgraded expansions, but like having the full thing, I'm very excited.
Very nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm on my heavy side a little bit. The acquisition disorder here is yet another, I would say, spiritual successor, but maybe it's an undead successor. Agricola. I mean, obviously, Agricola special edition because it's going to have all the fancy plastic pieces, which is now the new rage for all the kids out there. I have Agricola. I have a very good version of Agricola. I don't have the version of Agricola. And I think it was the 15-year anniversary that came out not too long ago that had the weird kind of box, but it was also upgraded. So it was weird to see another special edition come out so soon after but this one's supposed to have all fancy pieces in it. So again, if and when it does actually get produced, but that's not necessarily mine, right? This is episode 515. I also talked about Dead Harvest. Now, this is also, strangely enough, an Agricola game, but with zombies, because, hey, your misery farm needs more misery. So, I don't know what this is going to be, but I'm really excited to actually play this, because I do love Agricola, unlike some people, and zombies would make a nice addition to that. So, good luck to everyone out there. If this does come out, I will certainly pick this up and get a chance to play it. I'm really excited about it. And then finally, under the same episode 515, there is also another farming game called Harvest. This is also a very good harvesting game. In this case, you have animals, and they're doing the Agricola thing pretty much, but it's a lot more simple, and everything is straightforward, and it's very much in line with everything that we know from kind of Agricola lore, but it plays a lot better and with a lot more people.
All right, Agricola. Woo!
Agricola!
Yeah, I love Agricola.
Again!
Yeah.
Again!
I'm pretty sure this was my acquisition disorder, but as a joke.
As a joke.
As a joke.
Yes. But the Dead Harvest could be very interesting.
It could be, or it could just be more Agricola. So we'll see how it goes.
But more Agricola is very deadly. To you, at least.
So we're getting more Agricola and more Feast for Odin. Let's see which of them we hate more.
Ooh, that's really cool. That would be a very good versus.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to it.
I'm liking that.
Agricola Dead Harvest versus the Danes. 2027, we're coming at you.
Put your money on the zombies, people.
Woo!
Zombies versus Vikings. We're talking about it right now.
Zombies versus Vikings. It's happening.
This will be a thing where, like, you flip the zombie over, then it's a polyomino, and it somehow fits in a weird island shape on their board.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird, people.
Yeah.
It's a weird game out there. But
I would love if this Agricola Dead Harvest that you're so excited about comes and all the zombies are shaped like polyominoes.
Oh no, that'd be bad.
Like, oh no, Chris, I'm sorry.
As long as they're not double-sided, like
sure.
Feast for Odin, which is always weird. Like, oh, it's a piece of bread, and it's also grapes? How's that a thing? I don't know.
You're trading it. Duh.
Sure. That's how nature works.
Yeah.
Right. Good times. All
right. So let's move on to my last one here. The Great Library.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Mr. Vital Lacerda's new game, which I talked about on episode 525. So this is coming up from Vital Lacerda. Soon.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
I met him.
I did too. It was my birthday.
Do you have a signed copy of Lisboa? Because I do.
No. Because I backed it. Well, I guess it is technically signed, but it's on a sticker.
Aw.
It's a sticker that was in the box. Boo. Anyways, the Great Library. So this is a new one coming from Vital Lacerda. It's the Kickstarter launches at the end of this year, and it is all about the Great Library of Alexandria.
I've heard of it.
And how it was built and managed and all the good stuff in between. So we have a big sprawling Euro because Mr. Lacerda knows what he's doing. We have Vital Lacerda. We have Ian O'Toole artwork because Eagle Griffin knows what they're doing.
I think you should just marry the guy at this point, man.
I know.
Serious.
Like I hope they're good friends.
I
right?
mean,
they must have exchanged like a million emails at this point.
Do they have
right?
matching tattoos? I mean, that would be fantastic.
Oh, I freaking hope so.
If even Ian O'Toole designed them, I think I would.
Oh
I'd be
my
like,
gosh, I'll get it now. Ian O'Toole, send me the tattoo you have with Vital Lacerda. I will get it.
It's gonna be like a best buddies thing, I think. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's looking good. It has dice.
Ooh.
Which is weird. It's not really a Vital Lacerda thing to have dice.
It is. It's very strange.
You know, unless they're counters, which, you know, maybe, but still dice in the game is weird. But it looks good. Like I liked the conventions. Okay, it was better than the Weather Machine. Like the games have been getting a little squishy in the middle there. And I'm looking forward to this one for sure. So that was back on episode 525. If you want to hear the full thoughts on the Great Library.
Don't tell them anymore, man. Let them listen.
Yep.
On episode 489, I was really excited to hear that this game was actually available in the US. And actually, I did eventually get a play of it. And what I was excited about is it was a Marvel comic game called Comic Hunters. And this was only supposedly, at least at one point, it was only available in Brazil because the Marvel license, this game at least, was not licensed in the US. So only in Brazil could they have this game, and then people went out of their way to be able to pick this game up because it was about comic collecting and it had all of these wonderful classic covers to it that you could kind of manage on your game board. So I was very excited, got a chance to play it, and was shockingly, again, very disappointed by the game. So I have reasons for that. But let's be fair, that's episode 489 to tell you, not Chris episode 540, because he's got a totally different vibe these days.
Yeah. Positive.
He's positive.
I love games.
Woo! Games, buddy! That game was not a game that I ever wish to have gamed, despite the fact that I do love the theme for that game.
Spoiler, it's bad.
We don't know. The only way to know, like, it's both bad and good. It's Schrodinger's episode 489, so people have to find out.
I gotta go back and listen.
Yeah, I know, it's a thing. All right, well, that leads us to our At the Tables, where we actually play games. And we like to roll for reviews to let you know if those games are great, and if you should. I'm going to talk about this. We haven't talked about this in quite some time. So again, going back to the proper formula, buy a game because it's hot, it's wonderful, and we love it. Play a game because it's fantastic and you should sit down and enjoy it. Dodge a game because you should avoid it at all costs. Or Anthony, maybe you've heard of our rating scale. Every once in a while, you want to burn a game because it's actually the worst thing possible, with the exception of providing you some limited amount of heat for a very short period of time.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time I burned a game.
It's been a while. We did an episode where we talked about all the games we burned. Yeah.
It's been a few years for me though. I guess it's just if I see a game and I'm like, I don't think that looks very good, I just don't play it.
You're dodging a lot of games. I am
dodging, yeah, but then I would have burned them if I'd played them.
I know.
So, anywho, that's a spoiler. All my picks this time are good.
Okay, all right.
These are my favorites that I've reviewed over the last year. So first up, we got the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. Talked about this in episode 512. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a trick-taking game, cooperative, about the Fellowship of the Ring. It takes place over 19 chapters, and you play through all of the contents of the book with several of your favorite friends. In my case, Chris, you were there. Will was there.
I was there.
We had fun. It was great.
Yes.
It's got a solo mode, which is somehow not terrible for a trick-taking game. And It's really quick, easy, just... It's like The Crew, but with story and purpose behind it.
And artwork.
Instead of just random nothing. And I like The Crew. It's a great mechanical game, but it is easy to lose people in that game. Where it's like, what are we doing again? Why are we doing this? Whereas Fellowship of the Ring, you're like, no, this is the part where we're trying to escape the ring wraiths as we go towards Rivendell. Duh.
Yeah, I mean, there's an idea that artwork is not just there to be pretty; it's to be there to be informative. And when you're playing a cooperative trick-taking game, information is helpful. Just saying.
It's guardrails. Like it guides you along the way. So it was a really pleasant surprise. I thought I'd like it. I didn't think I'd love it, and I did love it, and I gave it a buy. I'm looking forward to the sequels because seems like it sold really well. So give me the Two Towers trick-taking game and the Return of the King trick-taking game.
Very nice.
Go back, check that out. Episode 512.
Well, Anthony, a game that you and I absolutely had a chance to play is episode 533. We are, of course, obsessed with this game because it's Obsession. Upstairs, Downstairs expansion, and the Characters expansion was the most recent, crowdfunded expansion that came out, and we got to play both of them separately and together. So we got to play multiple games of Obsession with all the fancy bits and baubles that come along with it.
I played Obsession like 4 times over 4 days.
That's fantastic.
I had played it before I went there, and they're like, we want to play Obsession. I'm like, I just played this. And then we played with both the expansions in 2 separate games. I'm like, this is fun. And then I went home, and I was like, I should play the expansion solo. And I did that. And I was like, this is great. This game's awesome.
Yeah, Board Game Arena, I came home and I started playing on Board Game Arena a lot. And I actually even got some sort of, like, this has got to be a new thing, like, some sort of, like, teacher, educator kind of badge. I don't know why, but I got it for Obsession, and I played it probably about a dozen times, give or take, on Board Game Arena, and I really enjoyed it. It just reminded me of all the fun of Obsession.
Yeah.
And the fact that I got an educator badge, which again, if you know us and you know the episodes, I educate a lot of people about Obsession.
Yeah, you do.
So, and I'm obsessed with teaching people this game. So Upstairs Downstairs was a really interesting expansion because it was there to address some of the challenges and problems people were having with the standard base game of Obsession. And obviously it does that, and I think in a really interesting way. And also it kind of, in certain circumstances, creates a couple of more issues, or just it kind of like allows you to see the tightness of the base game, and then it becomes loose with the Upstairs Downstairs, which is still not bad because everyone gets that same looseness. But also, again, it addresses some of the deck issues that are present and some of the bonus issues that are present. And then the character expansion even goes a step further, where it really kind of focuses in on some of the issues of the base game, which then allows you to have characters that address that. So there's a marketplace where you can get more people that are different. These people do different things. They're new characters. There's a spot where you can get new objectives and swap those out. There's a lot of little mini kind of module-like expansions that really kind of open the game up. It does become somewhat a little unwieldy, but overall, it's something that I would say Upstairs Downstairs is always going to get a play. The character expansion, I don't feel is necessary, but I would never not want to play with it if someone pushed on it.
Yeah, because you can just ignore it. It doesn't give people a benefit if they use it. It just helps mitigate stuff. They're using action. So yeah, just like, I'll ignore it. You have fun. I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah, I think part of was people didn't like having the negative point characters in the game.
Sure.
But I felt thematically they were very appropriate.
Right, yeah. Like, especially if you watch like Downton Abbey, like the Americans come in, everybody judges you.
Yes. They're very rich, but they're very loud and problematic.
Yeah.
Like real Americans. Hey!
Hey, we're the best. Shout out to our European listeners.
What? So this kind of addresses some of that and almost like overcorrects in a lot of ways, a lot of those kind of issues and problems. But again, who cares? It's your game. If you don't like those things, these expansions provide for that. So certainly a buy. Obviously, if you have Obsession and you're like, hey, this could be a little bit better, the expansions do make it better.
Yeah. And hey, he just announced Big Box on the way.
Oh, jeez, man.
I know.
He's not going to album VR this thing, is he?
No, I think he's done. He's just like, it doesn't all fit in the box.
Oh,
so
all right.
Is it just the box?
Are we just purchasing another box again?
I think it's a box and a unified rulebook.
All right. I mean, there's a lot.
I want a unified rulebook. I'm 100% for. I will pay money for a rulebook with everything in it, because you laid all those out. There was like 11 rulebooks laid out on the table.
Yeah. All the cards and all the people and all the books.
Yeah, it was a mess.
And then Anthony kept taking from my educational supply area.
Oh, yeah. Give me that. I don't know what's going on.
At least Board Game Arena, somehow their technology has allowed them to see actual in-person play, and we're like, this guy, he knows what to do.
Yeah.
He's got everything laid out.
Teacher, educator, you got it.
I tell you. Should do an academic journal. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We should try it. We should think about it. So, that was very fun. Check out episode 533 for more wonderful information about that, because I think you'll really do enjoy that.
Cool. All right, so episode 513, literally the next one, because we played these games at the same convention, the Level Up Game Convention in New Jersey.
Yep.
Endeavor Deep Sea.
Ooh.
This is the recent winner of the Kennerspiel this year's. We have a long, interesting history with Endeavor, having played the first edition and the second edition, both of which have problems.
They're very problematic. They're slavery, people.
The same problem. Yeah, it's not quite as graphically evident that the slavery, but it's slavery, and you're doing slavery, and everybody's like, don't cancel slavery. It's good for me. It's bad game. In that way. Endeavor Deep Sea takes those core mechanics, though, in terms of how you manage your player board and your upgrades and everything you get, and it turns it into a deep sea exploration game.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? That was fun, and it's great, and it's super cool, and I just played it solo recently, a couple nights, and I was like, wait, this game is even better like this, because now there's missions I can go through.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. Just recently back to expansion. I think it was on Kickstarter, with more content coming my way. So it's I was looking forward to it because I think I liked Endeavor, but I really don't think I liked the theme. But you retheme it and maybe interesting, and I'm like playing this one. I'm like, I think I like this more, but then also the theme's good, so even more.
Yes.
And it was like an easy buy for me. So.
Yeah, this is one of the best, perfect, somewhat quasi examples of like, hey, your game had a problem, man,
Right.
and they corrected that. Well, they produced a second edition, which was bad because we did mention it was a problem beforehand. We did. And then they finally came out with the third edition, which they corrected the problem. They were forced, or educated at least, let's put it that way. They were educated to come out with an edition that you could actually meaningfully play at the table. And by doing so, they discovered thematically what the game should have always been. It wasn't just like they removed slavery and it was just a better game. Like, the game mechanics play much better with this deep sea adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot more fun. Again, not just because the slavery is not there, but mechanically, it makes a lot more sense. And when you play a lot of tabletop games, like a lot of times you're like, hey, this is a pasted on theme. It doesn't matter. And then sometimes you play a theme, you're like, this probably could have been something else or should have been something else.
Mm-hmm.
This was absolutely the perfect resolution of like, this game had a problem. And because they resolved the problem, they made a discovery that made the game so good. Spades.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's
oh,
such a huge leap.
Yes, very well done. Well, on episode 533, I talked about a couple of games. I already mentioned Harvest previously, which was a lot of fun. Agricola Light, which I like that a lot. I think actually, Anthony, you might like that too. You could play that on Board Game Arena as well. But also play two other games, which I was surprised by. One is, it was a roll and write, man. I played a roll and write. It happened.
What?
And I liked it.
What?
I know, it gets a play for me. This is Draft and Write Records. So Draft and Write Records is a game about managing a band, and I guess obviously being part of the band. And this is all about playing cards. So you're kind of like, you get cards. Let's just say you get cards, man, because there's a whole review on this. You get cards, and then you make decisions based on this draft, what cards you're going to play. And that allows you to do a lot of different things based on touring, based on building the band, based on technology that you're going to employ with the band. So there's a lot of different ways to score points, as a lot of these kind of roll and writes tend to be. But this one was kind of strategically fun because a lot of the areas bounced off each other, but also if you did not build the band,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not really going to be winning this game so much. I mean, maybe there's a way around it. I don't know, but I enjoyed my play of this. And for a person who generally doesn't like roll and write games, I really enjoyed this. So Draft and Write Records was fantastic. And then, Anthony, you and I played a game called Sparks, which was a game that we had played, I believe it was at PAX Unplugged. PAX Unplugged, right? With Will, our buddy Will.
Yeah.
And that was a game that was kind of in the middle for all of us.
Yeah.
I was a little more down than you and Will were on it. And then after we did the review, actually, the designer and publisher had reached out to me, and we talked about it. And I still think the game is undercooked, and I think it needs an expansion to be a great game, but I did enjoy what generally was there.
Okay. Yeah, same. Some cool ideas.
Very cool ideas, and I think it just needed more. I just think they didn't add the more to it, and I really hopefully they got enough people to play it and pick it up that they will come in with expansion, because I think it could be great if they would do that.
Yeah. All right, my last one here on the review side of things is Star Trek Captain's Chair, which I reviewed on episode 518. This is Imperium from David Turczi and his design team there, but done in the Star Trek universe. So you play as one of the captains, famous captains from the Star Trek lore, but not all the famous captains, because some of them are being held back for expansions.
Aw.
Yeah, but Cisco's in there. It's all good.
I love Cisco. It's my favorite.
Yeah, he's good. But then they throw Michael Burnham in there. I'm like, Michael Burnham's not even a captain. What are you doing?
By the end, she is.
I know, but
I know.
I know. It's dumb. Why is she there?
I don't know.
But anywho, it's a deeply complex, asymmetrical deck building type of game, but that makes it even seem simpler than it is. It's such a clever, creative system, and putting it in the Star Trek universe, adding the theme to it, and giving everybody a centralized focus really helps the game make more sense than it did in like Imperium. Imperium's really hard to teach. It's a lot of fun. I played this game for 2-3 weeks straight, like almost every night.
I'm still super jealous.
And there's 2 expansions coming out this fall. 2 of them. I gotta track them down.
Yes.
But yeah, check out the review on that. I was effusive. I'm still effusive. I love this game. Episode 518, Star Trek Captain's Chair.
I was always really excited about Imperium, and I remember seeing it in your place, and I was like, I really feel like I would like it.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, they came out with a Star Trek version of it. And I was like, really? Like, you had to do that to me. So
you gotta play it, man. You'll love it.
I have no doubt that I will. And I'm a big Star Trek fan. And again, hearing it so great is just very painful because I do not own this game. And I can also play this game solo, so I will play this solo.
Yeah.
I would love for them to release Captain Freeman, because, you know, she's an amazing captain, and I would love to get the Lower Decks universe in here.
Yeah, there's some promos for Lower Deck stuff in the base game that I have. But it's only like 5 cards. I want like a whole...
But at least they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Which means that they're going to do it, right? If they didn't put any cards and they were like, oh, okay, so they're keeping to the live action universe. But Captain Freeman is obviously coming. I'm hoping. So
yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yes.
No, the big expansion they're adding is Kirk, finally, which is crazy. It wasn't in the base game.
Yes.
Khan.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
Philippa Georgiou, which is the actual captain from Discovery.
Oh, the captain, not the evil version?
Yeah, the captain.
Oh, I loved her for like the 5 minutes that she was there. Spoilers.
Yeah. And then, here's a weird one. Rebner, the Packlid commander from Lower Decks.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
You want Freeman, you get Rebner.
No.
It's good.
No, I don't want that. Why that way, man?
But guess what? There is a second expansion on the way. It's coming later. It's a smaller expansion, and it has Christopher Pike.
Okay.
And Carol Freeman.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's a smaller one. The big box expansion has Kirk and all that stuff. The smaller one has Freeman and Pike.
Do they show the picture of Pike? Which Pike is it? Is it original Pike? Is it movie Pike? Or is it Strange New Worlds Pike?
I don't see a photo, but I would assume Strange New Worlds Pike.
All right. I want original Pike. Many people don't know original Pike.
I mean, it's just the one episode, right?
Yeah. There's a long story, which Star Trek people will enjoy it, but not everybody else will. But like,
right.
Pike goes back to the original series. Pike was the original captain of the Star Trek Enterprise, and they filmed like a double episode. And then they did not release it because they didn't want to go that way. And then they brought Shatner on, and they went with a totally different vibe to Star Trek. But then that original pilot was incorporated in the original beginning of Star Trek as kind of like a trial / flashback. And then like in the 80s, they released it as its own episodes. But you see Pike in the movies as the first captain, and you see obviously Pike in Strange New Worlds. So he is the first captain of that Enterprise. But it's actually interesting if you really look into it, because it's fun. And Strange New Worlds is really cool too. So
yeah, can confirm it is Anson Mount from Strange New Worlds.
Who has the best hair?
Oh my gosh, his hair, dude! His
hair is so high. His hair cartoonishly high.
Amazing hair. Yeah,
fantastic. Love the guy. All right. Well, I guess that brings us, Anthony, to our feature review, The Voice of the Gamers.
Mm-hmm.
And my first one up is one that you were not here for, but our good friend Chris Rodriguez was here from Board Games for the Better. And this was episode 530, the top 10 games on everyone's shelves, according to BGG.
Great episode. Had fun listening to this on the airplane.
And it's a lot of fun, too, because I think we all wonder what games everyone owns. And BGG does a very good job of kind of putting all that together based upon all of you putting information in there. And it was really surprising. And I think, again, if you haven't listened to episode 530, I'm not going to spoil it for you because there is a lot of surprises in that list. And it's not all the games you think it is, but also I think it's good for you to know, because you're bringing a game to game night, what does everybody else have? This is a great list for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and it's been very popular. It's one of our best episodes this year, like numbers wise. Just a little like back room spoiler.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, Chris is on, and Chris is a lot of fun to listen to. So if you haven't listened to Chris Rodriguez, you should.
Yeah,
that guy he's a hoot and a half.
Yeah, Chris is fun,
and that's a professional term if you did not know that.
Hoot and a half, yeah,
hoot and a half, yeah.
A metric hoot and a half.
Ooh, excellent.
All right. So for me, I also have an episode with a guest that I really liked. Episode 506. This was last year. All the way back in December. We talked.
Who is it?
Jeff Gamble.
Jeff Gamble,
formerly of the Longview, about game design quantity versus quality.
Legendary.
So we did a deep dive episode where we talked about defining complexity, width versus depth. So games like tons of rules versus like depth in the single rules. We talked about emergent complexity. We talked about walking the line between the two. Like it really deep, interesting conversation about how games approach complexity and how to get there. And it was a lot of fun. Also, just talking with Jeff about the games he's excited about, which is
excellent.
Always good. So yeah, check that one out. Episode 506.
Very nice, very nice. All right. Well, my next episode here, of course, is, I know, Anthony, we talk about this every year, our favorite episode, because we typically do our top 100 every 50 or 100 episodes, so to speak. But really our favorite episode is when our listeners feedback. So our listeners' top 100 games of all time, episode 501. So we talked about 10 weeks of 10 games each for our top 100 of all time. And we absolutely positively do not need to leave out our listeners' top 100 of all time. Again, do you want to know who our listeners are? Do you want to know what games they love? Well, listen to episode 501 and you'll find out. Because again, their list, better than ours, I have to say.
Always better than ours.
These people are brilliant. We love you.
Thanks all.
You guys are the best.
All right. So on my end, next one up, I have a Voice of the Gamers here from this year. Once we switched over formats. Episode 514, we took a look at the BGG Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And so we wanted to know what are good hits here? Like what works and what doesn't work? And so we got like a couple dozen responses from people of like, here are the games that are solid on that list, and here are the ones that are like, how is this not on that list? And we also offered our own as well. But it was like a fun conversation about like, here's the inaugural class of the BGG Hall of Fame. It's a bunch of games. Here's why they're there. Here's why there maybe some others aren't. And here are the things that we would change or swap out. And it was a really fun conversation.
That's a great list because there's a lot of controversy on that list as well.
Yeah.
And it's good to get the feedback on that belong there, that doesn't belong there, and what you would use to replace it.
Yeah.
So, again, our Voice of Gamers, they know best and so well appreciated. All right. Well, Anthony, I have a Voice of the Gamers here for you. And again, everybody knows one of my favorite things about tabletop gaming is expansions. And we have an episode on 527. What expansion fixed a game that you now love? And I think this is one of the wonderful things about game expansions and about game designers, that they're willing to go back and to add more, just not more game. Because we did a really fun episode a couple of years back. I can't remember which episode specifically, where we talked about all the different types of expansions. But most importantly, so many great expansions are great because they fix the base game in some really fundamental ways that we love and enjoy, and brings the game out to the table a lot more. It's not just like, oh, it's a fifth player. No, like it fixes the game. And our gamers out there, their voices, their games, their expansions, and you might have that base game at home and you kind of gave up on it, but maybe that episode 527 will make you bring the game back out if you pick up the expansion.
Yeah, expansions are fun. It's the only thing I can buy anymore. I don't need room anymore.
You need to purchase one of those Agricola rooms without having a room kind of spaces.
Right.
That's right. So
yeah, I'll just magic the house.
That's right.
All right. Last one up for me, episode 532. We did our first board game club. We talked about terraforming Mars. So we asked all of you to tell us what you thought of terraforming Mars, and we have 16 pages of comments from the community, which was amazing. Just getting to read through all that, and just people's hot takes, people's things they love about it, people's history when they first played it, what version they like best, what expansions they like or don't like, and then of course giving our own run through of the game, the history with it, the expansions, the digital play, Ares Expedition, the dice game. It's the game has a strong place in our history as a podcast, as gamers, as everything related to the hobby. It was fun to go through, and we're looking forward to doing it again, hopefully sometime in the future. So, Board Game Club, episode
I'm
532.
excited.
Yeah.
It's not just for books anymore, man.
No, we all played a game together. It was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Look forward to the next one of those. All right, everybody. I mean, again, as always, there's so much to say here. It's been 12 years of fun joining you at the table. And as always, we hope for many more fun-filled years of inviting, welcoming, and including and making accessible games at the table for you. And we're so appreciative for our community that you represent us and go out and bring more people in, provide for more games out there, and just the love and passion you have for the industry and the hobby, and the fact that you listen each and every week means a lot to us. As always, we really would appreciate, as always, we don't talk about this too much, but please support us on all the social media networks. That definitely helps with getting more people to listen to the podcast and therefore getting more gamers out there into the world. We'd like to thank and tremendously appreciate all the Patreon backers, especially whatever they can do, whatever small amount of money makes a difference. The podcast is, in fact, very expensive to put out each and every week. There's a lot of hosting fees, a lot of technology fees, and we're always trying to make the quality better. And obviously, if you go way back from episode 1 to now episode 540, obviously we've improved, and hopefully that's been beneficial to you. So if we've been beneficial to you anyway, please support us on patreon.com/BGA. Patreon is a really big benefit for us. If you can't financially benefit us, please share the podcast, share the love, open a seat at the table to let more people in, and we would really find that meaningful and appreciative. Anthony, any last words as we wrap up the 12th year?
It's been a good year, friends. It's been a good year. Games are fun, and it's been great again, especially this year, like bringing everybody in and having more of these episodes where we really just like dig into what you're all saying and what you all think, and get the voice of the gamer into the episode. That's been a fantastic. So looking forward to a lot more of that, and carrying through into year 13.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think one of the things we also should mention, Anthony, that we haven't talked about in a little bit, our big tabletop conference on October 4th and October 5th at the Strong National Museum of Play. You should absolutely positively check out boardgameacademics.com. There is a great link that will show you all the fun tabletop stuff that we have as far as the museum's concerned, that you'll be able to interact with, engage with, and get special curated tours for. Not to mention all the wonderful speakers, presenters, people who are running game demos of their games and showing us how they utilize their games in practical and educational ways. So if you haven't yet, or even if you already have, Board Game Academics, the conference section, all brand new content, full schedule of the events and programs, full information about what the museum has to offer to everyone who loves tabletop gaming. And again, we would so much love for you to join us there, hear all the great stuff that's happening in tabletop gaming, support the podcast by attending the conference, and get an opportunity to game with you at the table. Anthony, until next year, year 13, this is Chris.
Hey, and this is Anthony.
And we'll save you all a seat at the table. Thank you so very much for joining us each and every week. Take care, everybody.
Hey there, Hugh from Podderation here. And if you like today's show, why not have a listen to the All Things Nintendo podcast? Hosted by Brian Shea, former director at Game Informer and lifelong games journalist, the show explores the ins and outs of gaming's oldest company and one of its biggest, featuring interviews, featuring reviews, featuring everything you want to know about the world of Nintendo. If you'd like to learn more, check out our website at podderation.com.